to get a
Okay, question 1.
letter of invitation from each guild, and one of them
In brackets.
labels.
4.7 times 5.2 divided by ABC 6.9 plus 3.8. We want it to 2 decimal places,
So to get there, so you have to go through this giant water
which is
system.
2.371. We only want
And then we find the
those two, so obviously
that it has
C.
a enchant on it.
13 to the power of negative 1.3 gets you 0.0356. We want 2 significant figures, which is those two. The 6 rounds the 5 up to 6.
You have to use like a heap of carry code, a heap of everything, and then somehow keep dropping it and manage to get it to
Question 3. T cubed. We need to get rid of the cubes, so we must cube root 2000 to the nearest whole number, 12.59, so which is 13. Question 4. Adding, we need common denominator, which is 6 times by 3, what you do the bottom, do the top, times by 2. So we get 3x over 6 plus 4x minus 2 all over 6. Now collect like terms. 3x plus 4x is 7x. Take away 2 all over 6. Okay, 72 square root, completely simplify. 72, biggest square number is 36, and it's by 2. Square root of 36 is 6, root 2. Alright, let's let n equal 0.629 or repeater. Okay, it's got 3 repeaters, so we need to times by 1,000. And you get 629.629 or repeater. Okay, so take away both equations. 1000n, take away n is 999n equals, they cancel each other out, and you're left with 629. N will equal 629 over 999. Just grab your calculator. 629 ABC 999 gives you 17 on 27. Okay, part 2. We need to do 1727 to the power of 2/3. Now, you can either square first or cube root second. Or cube root first, square second. So, I am going to cube root first. So the cube root of 17 can just be expressed as the cube root of 17. The cube root of 27 is 3. And all that squared will give you the cube root of 17 squared is 289. 3 squared is 9. Now just get your calculator and make sure that 289 does not simplify the cube root. It doesn't, so that is your answer there. School fees are now $495. This is an increase of probably 8% from last year. So 495 is the answer. We actually need to know the question. Now, if you increase something by 8%, you actually have now 108%, which is now 495. We need to know last year's fee, which is original 100%. Now, how do you get from 108 back to 100%? You can only divide by 108, and then that'll get you to 1, and then times by 100, or divide by 1.08 straight up, but that's okay, times 100. So 495 divided by 108 times by 100 gets you 4, 5, 8 to the nearest dollar. Okay, the absolute value of -7 is 7. The absolute value of 5 minus 9, well, that's -4, and the absolute value is 4. 3 sevens are 21 minus 4, which gives you 17. Okay, write this without fractional indices and without the denominator. Okay, so x plus 2 if you bring that up from the denominator, it becomes a negative power. Okay, and now the fraction's got to go. Sorry, that should actually write, with fractional indices. And the fifth root becomes 1 over 5, and obviously it was negative. Alright, firstly simplify the numbers. 5 and 10 can simplify to 5. Goes in twice. Now, so we're left with x to the half y. Now, we'll actually get rid of that because we know that a negative power can go down the bottom. Times x 3 on 2, y 1/4. Okay, now we are times in both the numerators together. That's just times in the x's, so we add the powers. A half plus 3 over 2, or 1.5, is 2. And the bottom, again, we're just adding the powers because we're times in across the denominator. So a 3/4 plus a quarter gets you 1. And we still had the 2 on the bottom. Okay, expand and simplify. You can expand all of it together, or, knowing that it's different to 2 squares, square the first, which is 4x squared, square the second, which is a 1, and it must have a minus in between. Alright, so substituting the formula, we know that A is 50,000. We don't know M. There's a times there. 1 plus 0.04 to the power of 8 minus 1 all over 0.04. Now you grab your calculator and we get bracket 1 plus 0.04 to the power of 8 minus 1 equals, divide by 0.4 equals, and you get 9.21 ... How do you get, we want m by itself. How do you get rid of times? We must divide by our answer. So straight away, 9.21, we can just do 50,000 divided by our answer equals, and we get m equals 5,426.39. Okay, h. So a cube, so we need to actually separate it into 3 brackets. So it's expanding, not factorising. So you don't use the formula. Alright, first 2 brackets. So, or perfect square. Square the first. The product of the 2 is 6x, so double it would be 12x. Square the next is 9. And now we are going to multiply all these. So we get 8x squared minus 12x, cube that was, 12x squared. Then we have minus 24x x squared plus 36x plus 18x minus 27. So collecting like terms, 8x cubed, these two, negative 36x squared plus 54x minus 27. 7a. Simple factorising first. 4 goes into both, and x squared. 2x is left, minus 3. Okay, trinomial. A and A can be two numbers that times together to give you 10, and add together to give you 7. That would be 5 and 2, and they will both be negative. Alright, so PSF method, we've got give me two numbers that times together to give you negative 90, and add together to give you negative 13, but this time it'll actually be two numbers that subtract to give you 13. So we've got 10 over 10. Okay, 90, 15 and 4 won't give you 13. 18 and 5 will give you 13. So we have 18 and 5. The bigger one must be negative. Okay, 10 can't go into either bracket, so let's break it up to 2 by 5. 2 into 10 goes 5, into 18 goes 9, 5 into 10 goes 2, and into 5 once. Alright, D. Difference of two cubes. Cube root the first, 3y. Cube root the second, 10. Okay. Square the first, 9y squared. The product of those two is 30y. Square the last, it's 100. And because it's a difference, these two are both positive. Alright, factorise in pairs. Okay, 4 goes into both 1 and x. M goes into both x and 1. Now, that is different to the other one, so what I'm going to do is change the signs, and therefore a negative comes out. So it's going to be 4, 1 minus x minus m, and then it's negative 1 becomes positive 1, positive x becomes negative x, and therefore that becomes 1 minus x is common, and 4 minus m is left. Okay, this one can be done either by expanding all of it or using a difference of two squares. So with the difference of two squares, we have square root the first, square root the second, and have a plus and a minus in between. Now you can simplify both major brackets. So we get 2x plus x is 3x. Negative 1 plus negative 5 gets you negative 6. 2x minus 1 is x. And negative 1 minus 5 is plus 5 gets you positive 4. Now this can be factorised. 3 goes into both. Minus 2 and x plus 4. Okay, or if you expand everything out, now you've got a perfect square at the front, so it's square the first, which is 4x. The product is 2x, double it, so it's 4x, and it's minus. Square negative 1, you get positive 1. The next bracket, square the first, x squared. The product is 5x, double it, you get negative 10x, and negative 5 squared is positive 25. But because you have that negative in the front, it changes all the sign. So you get negative, positive, and negative. So when you simplify this, 4x squared minus x squared gives you 3x squared. Negative 4x plus 10x gets you plus 6x. And plus 1 minus 25 gets you minus 24. Now, 3 can go into all this, so bring it out. X squared plus 2x minus 8, which therefore is a trinomial. X and x give me two numbers that times together to give you 8, and this time subtract to give you 2. So we have 4 and 2, and the bigger one will be positive. Done. Okay, simplify like terms. We have 3 root 7 minus 4 root 7 gets you negative root 7 plus 5 root 2. Okay, rewrite it in just third form. So the 7 must go back, so we square it, which gets you 49 times 3 will get you 147. Okay, simplify. Okay, we need to simplify each third first and then collect like terms. So we get 63 is 9 times 7. So that'll be 3 root 7. 72 is 36 by 2. So it will be 6 root 2. And 75 is 25 times 7, which will be 5 root 7. Therefore, 8 minus 6 gives us 2 root 2, and minus 3 plus 5 gets us 2 root 7. Alright, simplify times the whole numbers first, so 2 3s are 6. 10 5s are 50. Now 50 can simplify 25 by 2, which becomes 6 times 5 root 2, which is 30 root 2. Now rationalise the denominator. We need to times by the conjugate, which is 7 plus 2, root 7 plus 2. So we get 3 root 7 plus 6. And this is the difference, 2 squares. Square the first, which will be 7. Square the second will be 4, and there'll be a minus in between. So we get 3 root 7 plus 6 all over 3. Now, a whole number of 3 can go into both the other whole numbers once and twice. Okay, so we have a perfect square here. So square the first. The product is 12 root 5, so double it. So we get minus 24 root 5. And square the last. Square of 2 is 4. Square of root 5 is 5, so we get 20. Therefore we get 56 minus 24 root 5. That is in the form of that, but just to finalise it, let's just say A equals 56, B equals 24, not negative 24, because there's already a minus and a minus. You only put negative 24 if it was a different sign. And X is 5, not root 5, because there's already a root there. Okay, 9a, let's factorise top and bottom. Okay, 2a goes into both. 3a minus 4b. 3b goes into both. And you've got 3a minus 4b. They cancel, and you're just left with 2a over 3b. Okay, subtraction, we need common denominators, so times by 5, times by 5, times by 4, times by 4. So we get 10m minus 15 over 20, take away 4m minus 8 over 20, all over 20 now. Let's collect the like terms, but be really careful about that negative because it's going to affect both the numbers over here. So we get 10m minus 4m, which is 6m, minus 15 minus 8, which is plus 8, gets minus 7. Nothing goes into 6, 7 and 20. So done. Okay, so that can't be factorised. Times and flip, and that can't be factorised. Now, alright, now because these two are very similar except for the negatives and the positives, I'm going to times each by a negative. So, well, times this one by a negative. So I'm going to put it in brackets and call it 3y minus x over x cubed y. Now, what can happen then is this can cancel with that. That y can cancel and leave 2. This x can cancel and leave 2. So in the end, we get negative y squared over x squared. Alright, now this one here, firstly, let's factorise this bottom. It's a difference of two squares, so square root is m and 2 with a plus and a minus in between. Plus 2m minus 2. Now, the second fraction has an m minus 2 already, so it just needs an m plus 2. Whatever you do at the bottom, do the top. And we get, okay, we have a common denominator of m minus 2, m plus 2. Now, m plus 2m gives us 3m plus 4. Okay, the third, that's cube root. So cube root of 8 is 2, cube root of 27 is 3, half is square root, square root of 4 is 2, and 3, so we get 4 over 9. Okay, 10a, alright, it includes a tip. So normally you pay 100%, this time we're going to be paying 112.5%, and we paid 342. What was the cost of the meal without the tip? That is 100%. How do you get from 112 to 100%? You must divide by 112.5 to get to 1, and then times by 100. So 342 divided by, and you get 304. Okay, B. Now, you can do it individually, but because both fractions are already conjugate, we can times top and bottom by each other. So we get 3 root 7 plus 3 root 2 all over. Now, conjugate, so square the first, which is 7, and square the last, which is 4. No, sorry. Which is 2 with a minus in between. Difference, 2 squares. Plus the other side, we have 4 root 7 minus 4 root 2, again over 7 minus 2. So in the end, we have 3 root 7 plus 4 root 7 is 7 root 7. we have 3 minus 4, which is 1 root 2 all over 5. Okay, by using a formula, the first 13 numbers, that would be n equals 13. So subbing that in, we get 13 squared, 13 plus 1 all squared divided by 4, which gets us 8281. Now, of all the numbers from 6 to 13 inclusive, which means including 6 and including 13, okay, what we need to know is, we need to know 1 to 5. Because if we can know 9 to 5, we can get rid of those, because that 8,281 includes 1 to 5. We just need to get rid of 1 to 5. So 5 squared times 5 plus 1 is 6 squared all over 4. Equals 225. Therefore, minus the first 5 numbers equals 8056. Okay, and finally we need to factorise everything. So the top is the difference of 2 squares. Give me 2 numbers that times together to give you 6, and not add together, or negative 6 and add together to give you negative 1, but it's actually subtracting, so that's 3 and 2. Bigger number is going to be negative. Eight and 6, obviously that is 4 and 2. X squared minus 16 is the difference of 2 squares, plus 4 minus 4. Okay, now I would cancel those already. It's okay because it's separated by a times, not a plus. The plus is separating the 2 fractions here. Alright, so what doesn't the first one not have on it? It doesn't have x minus 4. So what you do to the bottom, do to the top. Alright, we get on top x squared minus 4 minus 3 is minus 7. Minus 3 times minus 4 is 12 plus 1 for the other fraction, all over x minus 4, x plus 4, which gets you x squared minus 7x plus 13 all over x minus 4, x plus 4. Now you can look at the top and see if it's factorisable, but it's not, because 13, the only things are 13 and 1, and that'll get you 14, not 7.